Most people believe buying commercial real estate requires millions of dollars, decades of experience, and connections with powerful investors. But the truth is much simpler, because most commercial investors bought their first property by following a clear step-by-step process, and once you understand that process, commercial real estate becomes far less intimidating. In fact, you will likely realize that what separates beginners from professional investors is not money or luck. It is simply knowing what steps to take and in what order. Because commercial real estate is not really about buildings. It is about income. Professional investors look at buildings the same way. Business owners look at companies. They ask one simple question: how much income does this property produce? If the income is strong and predictable, the property may be a good investment. But if the income is weak or unstable, even a beautiful building can be a terrible deal. This single idea is the foundation that everything else in commercial real estate is built on. So in this video, I am going to walk you through the 5 steps experienced investors follow when buying their first commercial property. And once you understand these 5 steps, you will begin seeing buildings the same way professional investors do. Not as physical structures, but as income-generating systems. The first step is choosing your niche, and it is decisive for beginners. Commercial real estate covers an enormous variety: multi-family apartments, office buildings, shopping centers, industrial warehouses, self-storage facilities, hotels, medical offices, and other specialized assets. This diversity seems attractive, but it quickly overwhelms anyone trying to learn everything at the same time. You end up with superficial knowledge instead of real expertise that allows you to make confident decisions. Professional investors solve this by specializing. They choose one property type and study it deeply before diversifying. Some focus exclusively on multifamily, residential tenants paying monthly rent, others on retail, businesses like restaurants or stores leasing space, and others on industrial, warehouses and distribution centers for logistics. Each category behaves differently. Apartments respond to population growth and housing demand. If a city grows and supply is limited, rents rise, and vacancies fall. Retail depends on consumer spending and foot traffic. Well-anchored and well-located centers outperform those in declining areas. Industrial properties move with e-commerce, logistics, and transportation infrastructure. Strategically located warehouses have gained significant value in recent years. By specializing, you start recognizing patterns quickly: typical rents, common operating expenses, and what constitutes a good or bad deal. Choosing a niche does not condemn you for life to one type of property. It simply gives you a solid foundation. It is like learning a sport. You first master the fundamentals of one, and then the others become easier because the core skills transfer. The same happens in commercial real estate. Once you understand leases, demand drivers, and cost structures in one sector, the principles apply across all sectors. Many beginners start with multifamily because of its simplicity: predictable monthly rents, relatively stable expenses, and housing demand that tends to be resilient during recessions. People always need somewhere to live. Others prefer industrial because there are fewer tenants, longer leases, and less day-to-day management. The key is not finding the perfect niche, but choosing one and studying it until you can identify opportunities almost instinctively, like a chef recognizing a quality ingredient at a glance. Step 1 is simple. Choose one property type and focus on mastering that niche. This concept transforms how you see real estate. Unlike residential properties, which are mainly valued based on sales comparables, commercial properties are primarily valued based on income. Imagine the property as a bucket. Every month, tenants pour rent into it, gross income. The bucket has holes: maintenance, insurance, taxes, management, utilities, and repairs. What remains after subtracting expenses is the net operating income, NOI, the central metric. The value is estimated by dividing the NOI by the market capitalization rate, cap rate. Like this, value approximately equals NOI divided by cap rate. This leads to a powerful conclusion. If you improve the income or reduce expenses, the value increases significantly, even if the physical building does not change. Example: a building with an NOI of €100,000 per year. After renovations, better management, and rent adjustments, it rises to €130,000. With a 5% cap rate, that €30,000 increase generates about €600,000 in additional value. You are not buying walls. You are buying an income system. That is where the magic appears. Many properties seem expensive but hide potential. Below market rents, vacancies caused by deferred maintenance that is inexpensive to fix, or inflated expenses caused by poor management. Identifying these gaps is essentially buying a value-add opportunity. The best investors build entire portfolios this way. They find underperforming assets and systematically optimize them. Step 2 is understanding this. Commercial value is driven by income. Increase income or reduce expenses, and you increase value. Commercial real estate is almost never a solo journey. A typical beginner mistake is trying to do everything alone. Professionals surround themselves with specialists. The quality of the team largely determines the results. Key members: commercial broker. Finds opportunities, many off-market, knows the local market, negotiates. Specialized attorney. Reviews complex contracts, identifies risks, structures transactions properly. One poorly reviewed clause can cost far more than their fee. Lender. Evaluates based on the property's income plus the strength of the buyer and tenants. A prior relationship allows you to act quickly. Property manager. Handles tenants, maintenance, collections, renewals. Protects income and reputation. A key mindset shift. You do not need to personally know everything before buying. You just need to learn enough to ask good questions and surround yourself with experts who cover the technical areas. Your role is to orchestrate and decide, not to be the expert in every detail. This is where many people get stuck waiting to be ready. But constant analysis is what prepares you. Professionals review deals all the time, even when they are not actively trying to buy. That trains your eye to recognize patterns and opportunities. Typical process, example, small shopping center. 1. Add up rents from all tenants and note lease expiration dates. 2. Estimate real operating expenses, maintenance, taxes, insurance, management, etc. 3. Calculate NOI. 4. Evaluate whether the asking price produces a reasonable cap rate versus the market. 5. Look for improvement potential. Below market rents, fixable vacancies, reducible expenses. If the numbers are solid, then you move forward. If not, then you pass without drama. Rejecting bad deals is not failure. It is discipline. You are protecting your capital. With volume, you develop intuition. Red flags appear quickly, and evaluations that once took hours now take minutes. Without action, there are no results. Analyzing and building a team is not enough. You have to make offers. Good investors review dozens or hundreds of properties and make multiple offers before closing one. Success does not always come from being the smartest, but from being the most consistent. Sellers have hidden motivations: a loan about to mature, an urgent need for liquidity, management fatigue, retirement after decades. Those reasons emerge over time and through constant market presence. Making offers regularly increases your chances of being in the right place at the right time. This is how many people close their first commercial property, not through genius, but through discipline and persistence. At first, commercial real estate seems intimidating. Complex contracts, technical jargon, a business for the wealthy. Professionals see something different: income systems, cash flow, and optimization opportunities. The building is just the vehicle. When you understand that income drives value, that a good team does the heavy lifting, and that analysis plus consistent offers generate results, everything becomes much clearer. Not easy, but predictable. You follow a process that can be learned, repeated, and improved. This is how most people buy their first commercial property and over time build portfolios that generate wealth for decades. Before you go, remember this. Commercial real estate is not about luck, but about education, analysis, and consistency. Investors who achieve results are not necessarily the smartest, but the ones who keep learning analyzing opportunities, and taking disciplined action. If you want to continue developing that investor mindset and learn step by step how this world really works, this channel is for you. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because here we'll be sharing strategies, real deal analysis, and key concepts that can help you make better financial decisions over time. If you found value in this video, support the channel with a like and share it with someone who also wants to learn about investing. And remember, your first property doesn't start with money. It starts with knowledge. See you in the next video.